I do have some expertise in, though, are the highs and lows of living your life online. And over the last few years, I've worked hard to regain the balance which has slipped away from me. So if you want to find out how I re-established my relationship with nature and managed to stop the scrolling and watch other people live their lives through beautifully edited montages set to catchy songs, then you've bought the right book. I'd love you to join me as we explore all this, right from my early years, which show why I've been deep-rooted in nature from a young age. Wait, did I just make a pun? Already? Maybe I'm better than my Catcher in the Rye essay mark led me to believe. Sorry, tangent. You're going to get a lot of those. Where was I? Oh yeah, I guess the overarching mission of this book is to help everyone, including myself, to find nature wherever we are and truly connect with it, which, in turn, would encourage us to strike a balance between the online world and the real world. So, make yourselves comfortable, put that phone on silent, and let's see if we can grow together. Wow! Not only a pun, but also the name of the book in the closing sentence. Who do I think I am? Chapter 1. Pressing pause. I grew my first armpit hair at the age of 21. Not only is that the best opener to a book you've ever read, and for that, you're most welcome, but it's also true. Yes, that's right, I was a kid we all knew who defied the normal laws of biology and for whatever reason was a painfully late bloomer. I'm not too bothered by it now, as of course I did eventually get the eagerly anticipated growth spurt I used to dream of. And you know this because I've just announced the late arrival of armpit hair to the world via this book. Anyway, I feel like I've used the words armpit hair 3 times more than I'd initially intended, so I'm going to move swiftly on. It's not until more recent years that I've realised I've actually been a slow grower in other aspects of my life. I was the shortest and smallest boy in my year, and I remember all the other boys being a lot quicker to shoot up in height. A few were even growing full-blown beards and looking older than some of the teachers. In year 9. I always seemed to be playing catch-up with the latest trend or thing, as we called it. Although by the time I did, you can be sure that the bearded giants were already done with whatever it was and had moved on to whatever was next. Honestly, I was okay with that. I didn't need the coolest new Lyle & Scott V-neck pullover or the latest dupe aftershave or know all the lyrics to the latest Kanye West song to feel like I fitted in. I like to think that I made up for my lack of size with my social skills and being quick-witted enough to survive any playground teasing. I became a master in the art of self-deprecation and discovered that if I showed I could joke about the fact I was a little short ass who couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, people wouldn't think to poke fun at me in the first place. I was better at making jokes about myself than they were. Why put Joe Sugg in the bin if he can chuck himself in the bin and laugh about it? Having said that, I did get thrown in a bin once, during a photography lesson. And yes, I did get stuck. Bizarrely, the culprit and I became best mates after this. I can't recall the reason for me ending up in a bin, as it all happened very quickly and it was dark. But, hi Tom, I still haven't forgotten it. To be honest, I think it was one of the tamer antics to happen in the school photography dark rooms. Enter the computer. Another thing I used to my advantage to compensate for being a slow grower was my ability to communicate online. At school, I would get involved in conversations, but I was much more of an observer. I like to be part of the discussion by listening to everyone else. When I got home, however, things would change. I would race back as fast as I could and bolt straight upstairs to the spare room, which over the years became the computer room. Our first family computer was a big, boxy, slightly yellowing white machine running on the now ancient Windows XP, and we got it when I was about 10. Now, for any younger listeners, the computers back then were a lot more basic. It would take so long to boot up Windows that for a child with a short attention span, like me, it almost wasn't worth the 15-minute wait just to play Minesweeper and then cry because it didn't make sense. FYI, I still, to this day, do not know how to play Minesweeper, and I don't think I ever will. My sister Zoe and I used to have a rota for the hours we were allowed to use the PC. I would have 3:30 p.m. until dinner time, and she would be allowed to use it from dinner time until bed. Over the next 4 years, computers changed a great deal. I still used ours a lot to play proper games, not Minesweeper, but by this time it was the early noughties, and the internet had transformed the way we communicated with everyone. We could now meet up with friends and interact with complete strangers in the Habbo Hotel, or go into battle on Age of Empires, but even better than all this was the greatest piece of software.